That's where he's putting Peter and all that stuff.
Welcome into this edition of Hand Raised Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neal McCready. That's Chase Parham here on this Thursday afternoon. We've had a day full of programming this afternoon already, and we have more programming coming your way tonight. So appreciate you being with us on MPW Digital. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, steal someone's computer, subscribe on theirs, that kind of thing.
We never really say that. Everybody else seems to. At this point, it's been 10 years. You kind of either hear or you're not. We probably should say that more than we do. That's probably a fail for the most part.
It is. It's a failure on our part to do it, but I understand why we don't. We just forget to say it. We've been doing this a long time.
Rate, review, 5 stars, all that stuff. Yeah, I don't care about the a little secret to people, the way these things work. Like Apple has their rankings things.
Yes.
And the way they work is new listeners. So if you're a fairly young show, you get more new because it's obviously all new to some extent.
Yes.
And then engagements with likes and subscribes and things, not necessarily whatever. So I don't really care. It doesn't. It has not felt like my manhood was challenged that we're not up. I'm aware of our downloads comparatively. I'm aware of our lovely partners and advertisers comparatively.
I was going to say.
I appreciate all of you.
You know, it's funny because I don't. I don't watch other people's shows and then call the advertisers and try to get them to advertise. I don't do that. Probably at significantly cheaper numbers. But I mean, hypothetically, not saying anybody does that. I'm just spitballing hypotheticals. I've heard that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not even like the most recent ones that just started contracts or things. It's been around for a minute.
Yeah. Like, I mean, in some cases, almost a decade.
So, anyway, again, love you guys. Love all of you. As always, Thursday night's a little stir crazy as it's heading into the weekend. A lot of stuff going down. Everybody kind of needs that bye week, as we've been talking about all week long. Yes. Next week, Ole Miss getting a week off prior to the Auburn game. Auburn, Hugh Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn. That needs a bye week going into it. We don't need to rush into what that is going to be.
No. Next week's going to be a little light. It needs to be.
Because then
I had someone ask me, "You think the football team has the same mentality as you?" I'm like, "No," but
no.
They've had a grind. I'm sure in Lane Kiffin's mind, next week is a very light week of practice.
Oh,
very light.
He's just gonna get through that thing.
They're going to go a couple days, make them show up on Friday morning so that they show up. But that's not going to be anything other than that. Be like a damn pizza party. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products, same great people, same great services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429.
That's fast.
Yeah. Caller, kind of hang on real quick. We got to pay a few bills here. Call Comer, Southern. Get in touch with them. You might have noticed that the weather's about to cool off. You might want to make sure that heating unit is ready to go here soon because the cooler weather is around the corner, I should say. So get in touch with them. They'll take care of that for you as the cooler weather approaches. This is will be the Friday, one of the two Friday Oxford Exxon podcasts. Chase, what's going on at the Oxford Exxon?
It's a big weekend, game weekend coming in. You're going to head into town, stop in for lunch special tomorrow. If you come in for that, remember the beer cave, 34 degrees. Head in, get all your alcoholic beverages that you wish. Maybe you grab some twisted tea while you're in there. We'll talk about that a little bit here in a little while as well. And some last-minute tailgating, catering, ribs, pork, pulled pork pounds there for you, side down with vegetables, and much more. So all that at the Oxford Exxon.
We're in the Clark Ford studio. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900's that number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today. Again, 662-257-1900. We'll take some calls in a minute on the Campbell Clinic Hotline. It's in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102, just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. The Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care to pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment with Campbell Clinic, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins, always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So here's how the call thing works. If I answer it, you're on. So you see what I'm saying? There is no call screener.
Why are we discussing this?
Because there's someone on, and calls are going to come, and people always do the, am I on?
Oh,
if
you are
If
on.
you hear me talking, you're on. Turn your device down. That way you eliminate the delay, and then talk to us, and we'll go.
Even
from
like
there.
a tutorial.
Trying.
Okay.
Because the call thing, we get people that go, we want you guys to take calls. Then the calls sound really crazy, and then people get upset about us taking calls. I will say this, in the event that you're one of the people that doesn't want calls, have a full show coming your way this evening. Tom Murphy covers Arkansas for a long time for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He joins. So does Mason Choate, who does what we do for Rivals.com. He covers Arkansas for Hogbeat.com. Does a really good job. They put out a ton of content. And then visit with Ben Mintz as well. We talk about last weekend, this weekend, around the SEC a little bit, and a handful of NFL games as we wrap up our week of coverage here on MPW Digital. Pete's Pigskin Preview, presented by Riverland Roofing, is up. More than an hour breaking down Ole Miss, its offense in the win over LSU, and also a look at the Arkansas offense that will be heading into Vaught Hemingway on Saturday. We also have the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, Greg Jones, Caroline McCready. That show presented by LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. That show is up as Greg and Caroline make their picks in college football for week 6. Caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Neal, Chase. This is Rodney.
Hey, Rodney.
I don't know how I ain't found this out yet, but what's the point spread on the Ole Miss Arkansas game?
12.5.
Let's see, is that what it is right now?
I don't know. It opened anywhere between 9 and 14, and it had settled on 12.5 most of the week.
I'm pulling it up right now, Rodney.
Do you like Ole Miss to cover 12.5, Rodney?
I just want Ole Miss to win, but I don't know. I'm scared of this game because it gets drunk out there.
Everybody's scared of Arkansas every year. I
mean this respectfully to everybody. The line is 11.5.
It's frustrating, Neal, as the week is going on.
It really frustrates me a lot. The game. Everyone goes, this game gets drunk, and I'm like, which one? And they're like 2015. I'm like, that wasn't drunk. That was
was pretty drunk.
Ole Miss's defense was bad, and we had an expectation that they wouldn't. And an NFL quarterback and an NFL tight end and an NFL running back were on the Arkansas side of the offense, and they lit them up all day, and Ole Miss couldn't put the game away. And then you had one weird play. But the game wasn't drunk. You had a weird play. And even after that, even after the weird play, they committed a penalty on a 2-point conversion.
That's the play that just...
The play is the 4th and 25 play is the Bartman play. The 2-point conversion where you had him tackled, that's the Alex Gonzalez error.
Yeah.
Tell me which one you should blame. And then I'll continue.
Neal.
I'll continue with this though, Rodney. Hold on. 2021 wasn't drunk. A young quarterback, Matt Corral, got tricked by one of the better defensive coaches around, Barry Odom. They tricked him all day. They showed him different looks. They confused him. He threw a bunch of interceptions. 2022, both defenses on that day sucked.
He means 20 and 21, by the way.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. 20 and then 21, yeah. 21, both defenses sucked. And I was at the game last year. This is the part that people don't ever do because this is what fans don't ever do. Ole Miss was flat. Ole Miss was distracted. Arkansas played an elite half of football. They really did. They don't get enough credit. That was their best half all season. It was senior night. It was up there. It's kind of to be expected, and that's how they played. I just don't think it has anything to do with the series being drunk or all that stuff. I just don't buy all that. Go ahead, Rodney. Sorry.
All right, now that's good. That's why I called in. So you think they're really going to win by what, 20 points?
He's
21?
predicting a 17-point win, and he thinks he's missing low instead of high.
Yeah, if you tell me I'm off, I'll tell you they won by 24-30. I mean, I just don't think this is a particularly close game. If it's a close game, at the end of it, what you will know as an Ole Miss fan is the following. Your team was flat, y'all committed turnovers, and your defense is bad. Your defense is just bad. What you saw against Georgia Tech was exactly what you were afraid you'd see. That's what you'll know. You'll know that if that's the case, the only way you're going to win games against good teams is in a shootout, which is what you did last week. I mean, you won a game where you gave up more than 670 yards of offense. You gave up 7 touchdowns and won a game. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it would tell me. But I don't think Arkansas is a particularly good offense. I think they'll score some points because they're going to score some points, but I just don't think this is going to be a particularly competitive football game by the middle of the third quarter. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, it's going to be because Ole Miss's defense is just not good at all.
Yeah. But maybe I think they're going to get the win, and I'm hoping they get at least a 10-point win. But I'd be glad with any win. But just like a couple weeks ago, like going to Alabama, the history. I know it don't mean nothing to this year's team, but the history. Going back to '92, whenever they came in the league, '92, '93, they probably beat Ole Miss more than we've beaten them. And like in a couple of weeks when we go to Auburn, I know they not that good on offense this year, but I'm going to pick us to lose that game at Auburn unless we just come out and dominate Arkansas and defense to stop the run some. But that's my line of thinking. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just a little scared of this game. Not really scared because we can't win consistently playing that kind of defense, but we won't play a great offense like that every week.
No, it's the best offense you'll play. Look, Vegas, here's the updated Vegas numbers. Ole Miss is an 11.5-point favorite. The over-under 62.5. Here's where you know what Vegas believes. The Arkansas money line is plus 350. It's a pretty hefty number. The Ole Miss money line is minus 455. That tells you Vegas thinks Ole Miss is winning this game, and they're trying to discourage you from trying to put some money on the Ole Miss side.
The computers are giving Ole Miss an 83% chance of winning the game.
And they have them winning by about 11 or 12 points.
Well, all right, fella. It's going to be good talking to you. Other people don't like calls. I don't understand it.
Yeah, call, hang out.
Good.
Appreciate you,
call in and talk with y'all. All right.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bud.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, 450 is a humongous money line.
I get that people like the idea of drama. I understand. I get it. I understand. And they get superstitious and nervous and those things. The computers are rarely bad wrong this time of year.
I pulled up the rivalry to get the list of scores. Two things stuck out. This series has been played in 6 different locations. That seems like that's probably a high for any.
You mean over time or
over time.
But not in modern history, though, right?
No, it's been
modern history. It's 3 places.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Well, 4.
When did they last play in Jackson?
93.
Okay.
So I'll count that. Since they joined the SEC, so we will count that.
Okay.
But back in the day, they played in Memphis and New Orleans.
Oh.
I'd love to know why the hell you played the game in New Orleans. Because back then, travel wasn't necessarily the easiest, too. So how did...
Maybe they just wanted to party.
I think like both of them played Tulane too or something. They did some 3-team something or others or something.
I doubt it.
Also, I need a story on this. In 1914...
Well, they played a bowl game in New Orleans, right? Didn't they play in the Cotton Bowl back in a long time ago?
Oh, am I actually seeing a bowl game maybe instead?
Didn't they play in like a 1960 something?
They played in the 71 or 3 Sugar Bowl. So maybe that's what I noticed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
I'm thinking that's what that is.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe so. And I didn't.
Probably not a regular season game.
That's probably true. People are screaming right now. 1963 Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, and 1970 Sugar Bowl. January 1st, both years.
Okay. Well, that would explain why that game was in New Orleans.
Yeah, my fault. Never mind. I'm an idiot. So, 6 guys, it's Thursday. I'm pulling up stuff on the screen. I know you're all screaming at me. It's fine. I don't care. Never mind. Happy damn, Ole Miss and Texas Tech played in Dallas. What the hell was that? Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Played in Houston recently.
Yeah,
what were they thinking?
Played in Houston twice.
Yeah.
Matt.
That's right.
Matt had a winning record against Arkansas. He went 2-1.
There you go.
And hell, he should have gone 3-0 because Jeff Long would have given him the win that day if he could have handed it over.
Yeah.
He would have begged Matt and Ole Miss to take that win that day.
For sure.
That was the most upset AD I've ever seen getting into the box getting into the elevator after the game. He looked like he'd been shot and they won the game.
Yeah.
He needed Burt to go away.
Did he ultimately fire him? No, yeah. He ultimately did.
Did he get fired that year?
Yeah. That was 19? Or was that 18?
That was 17.
No, so Burt got 2 more years. No, he didn't. He got fired that year because they hired Morris.
38-37. Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then Ole Miss won in Little Rock in 18 in that night game. It was all rainy and stuff.
Mhm.
And then won in Oxford 31-17 in 19. A game I don't remember at all.
I do.
I don't remember that game.
Yeah, we had a house full. Campbell was a freshman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was an event at Blue Delta Jeans had an event the night before out at the place that makes the gin.
Oh, Wonderbird. We did do that.
Wonderbird, yeah.
I don't remember that now.
It was hot.
Oh, that was that night,
It was
wasn't
really
it?
early September. It was hot.
I forgot about that.
And then it was a night game.
I had been – the Blue Delta golf tournament was that day. I had come straight in 19 because I was already – it was really, really hot for that Wonderbird thing that
I think
day.
that's right.
Yeah, that's correct. What I was saying before I realized I was a dumbass about the Sugar Bowl was in 1914, there's an asterisk next to it. It's a 13-7 Ole Miss win. And the notes say Arkansas claims Ole Miss used an ineligible player and considers this a forfeit.
Oh. What year is that?
1914.
Oh.
I feel like if we're in 2023 still claiming a difference of opinion, we're just going to have a difference of opinion the rest of the time.
I think it's safe to say they have agreed to disagree.
The two schools have different series records because of this game from 1914.
It's time to settle this.
How would you like to do that?
Just
Paper, rock, scissors. Call it a day.
Sure.
Who really gives a shit?
Yeah, right. Well, it's more that. Probably not a whole lot of witnesses to.
Arkansas has finally stopped playing Ole Miss in Little Rock still, or have they quit those games? Or are they still possibilities down the road?
They opened their season this year against, was it Western Carolina there? And it was apparently a logistical nightmare. And there's a real push to go, hey, we have to stop doing this. The stadium's not run well. It's not equipped for that.
Because they fight each other, right? Little Rock and Fayetteville boosters fight each other, kind of, right?
It's less of a fight than it used to be, apparently, but yes. A lot of the old, this is what I'm told, a lot of the old boosters and stuff want to keep a game in Little Rock.
Okay.
And their younger people obviously want all the home games in Fayetteville.
Okay.
So the compromise this year was, well, we'll play our least attractive game in Little Rock to open the season, which is kind of a disservice to the students because you took away a September home game from students that have just gotten on campus and are excited to be there and all that stuff. And you're making them all drive, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
It'd be like Ole Miss playing, who was it, Mercer? Playing Mercer in Jackson. I mean, I would be like, this is stupid. I mean, what's the point? And then the stadium's not up to date. And it would be
almost exactly that.
It's literally that. So I think what I can gather from reaction from that was that's probably the end.
Am I crazy? Or back when Ole Miss played in Jackson all the time, didn't Ole Miss and State play like double headers? They both would play down there on the same day or something.
I don't remember.
Am I crazy on this one?
I can't say you're crazy, but I don't.
I'm more asking the stream. Somebody will be aware of this. I remember the 03 game in the series because Snoop Dogg did the hottie toddy for some reason. I have that in my head. I think it was Snoop Dogg for that game.
Ben wanted to know, do I think the Kentucky money line is worth it? It's $4.25. It's high enough if you want to put $15 on it, sure. But, I mean, I wouldn't go put a bunch of money on it.
Well, that says you a lot right there. The Kentucky money line is lower than the Ole Miss money line.
Yeah. I mean, the Georgia money line, though, and this tells you what Vegas thinks. The Georgia money line is $5.75.
No, we're not playing this game.
Yeah, they're like, we're not. Yeah. Sometimes I think you can read a lot from the money lines.
Oh, yeah.
The money lines tell you more than the spreads.
Because the spreads, they're cool with even money on both sides. They're just trying to get a perception on the spreads.
An example. Arkansas State's a 16-point underdog at Troy.
Okay.
But the Troy money line is minus 800.
800.
So that tells you that Vegas firmly believes Troy's winning the game. Don't mess with us.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. You want to bet the spread? Bet the spread.
Yeah. If you want to put 300 up, we'll give you 300.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, just worth noting.
Oklahoma only a plus 180 on a money line.
What's the Texas money line?
220.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Oklahoma's played well. They've scored a lot of points. There's a lot of the early money was like on Texas because Texas blew them out last year, but Dylan Gabriel didn't play last year.
This feels low to me. I would think they would give them more of a chance. Maryland, I know it's high, but that money line's only plus 800.
Oh.
Ohio State's money line is minus 1,400.
Oh.
Yeah, big difference there. LSU money line minus 205. Missouri plus 170.
That line keeps going down, down, and more down.
It's at 4 right now.
Yep.
FPI for ESPN giving LSU a 70% chance.
Kyle Wilson, thank you for the super chat. He says, what's your go-to Mexican restaurant order? Chase, what are your thoughts on Bill's hamburgers and the sauce?
Okay, I know it's been a long time on Bill's. What sauce? Because I get Bill's hamburgers, and it's with or without. And what they mean by with or without is mustard and onion.
Okay.
That is, if you get a burger with at Bill's, it's mustard and onion. Now, they have a new owner. Has he added some weird sauce or changed up the recipe that we're known for hundreds of years?
Even I've heard of Bill's hamburgers. Wouldn't you want to just leave it alone?
Yeah, it's an institution. Like,
yeah,
that's not typically the way you would go about that. So, if there's sauce or something, let me know. I'm not aware of that. Typically, a glass bottle soda and a with would be my order at Bill's with the mustard and onion, because I do eat mustard and onion on my hamburgers.
I do too.
That is typically how. If you'd like to get a double, feel free, because they're pretty thin patties. They're not very thick. They're almost kind of smash burgery from a thickness standpoint. What was the other question? Sorry.
What's your go-to Mexican restaurant order?
Fajitas.
Really?
Yeah, fajitas. Not even a question. Typically some sort of combination, or either with all three, where you get the chicken, steak, and shrimp.
Oh.
Yeah, fajitas. No, I don't like refried beans. So no beans, because I can ignore them, but I don't want the beans to get on my salad dressings or salad toppings for the fajitas. So I say no beans. I can't really ignore them because they end up getting on my lettuce and it bothers me. So stay away from my pico and my lettuce on the fajitas. Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, it's okay. It's foolproof too. You're grilling some meat.
Yeah.
Throw some tortillas down.
Yeah.
I'm not going, hey, you got that cool mole thing. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. I'm out.
Are you out on mole?
No, I'm not. But I got to trust it. I'm not going just down the block to the place where I'm not 100% sure and giving it a shot. No, I'm okay.
Yeah, I typically love mole.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are you more exotic with your order?
No. I usually, if they have street tacos, I'll go street tacos.
I do love a good street taco now.
Otherwise, I like enchiladas a lot, but I'll usually go soft tacos or hard tacos. I like tacos.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, I could be having selective amnesia or something because I haven't had Bill's in a long time, but I don't recall a sauce on their hamburgers. I think it's pretty straightforward. I remember when they had like fried apple pie. I don't know, maybe Corey can call in and help us. He's probably had more experience with it than I have recently.
Ooh, JM throwing strays at you. Food critiques by the guy who puts ketchup on his pizza.
I know it's odd because I do have the sentimentality of one type of pizza with ketchup, but I have a pretty decent palate most of the time.
You're just catching bullets everywhere. Yeah.
I don't know. Some things can touch, but if I don't want the beans, I don't want the beans on top of my lettuce. I mean, that seems like a logical request.
When you were a kid and you were at the cafeteria and everything was segmented, if it got overlapped, did you get upset?
No, but I may have had a little OCD or something because I got fairly old before I started eating kind of everything at once. I would eat all of one and then move on to the next. Like I was kind of that.
There's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, you'll sit there and eat all this and then typically it would be
eat the whole potato and then go to the steak.
Well, it doesn't necessarily make sense because I know a lot of people, and I think it's kind of the way I would do it as a kid too, is you would save the thing you wanted the most for last. Like get all those stuff out of the way and then get to the thing you wanted. But if you get full, the thing that you really wanted is potentially what you leave on your plate. So it doesn't.
All right, Jackson, we're going to keep this our little secret here. We're not going to tell anybody, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I got a little mad about one of those things today too because I mentioned a restaurant on the board today, and I was like, "It's nobody goes yet. Like, don't do that." Like, what was I thinking? Like, I kind of got a little frustrated with
The
myself
one at
today.
the Chancellor's house.
Yeah.
Joel's really good.
It's fantastic. It's really good. Yes, but yes, Jackson, you are 100% right. It is by far the best in town.
It's not even close.
Yeah, I to this day, if I'm trying to make sure I get my vegetables in and there's one I don't really like, I will scarf it down first and like just eat it all at once.
Really?
Oh yeah, like if I have broccoli on the plate, like I know I need it, but I don't really want it.
Respect your body, as
Yeah.
Devin Snow
Yeah.
says.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Laura does these green beans that I really like.
Okay.
They're air fried with like a little tomato paste. That's probably my favorite. I like Brussels sprouts, but they have to be just perfectly cooked. If you go 1 minute too long,
I love a crispy Brussels sprout.
It has to be crispy.
Like, I mean, I could eat piles of them.
If you go 1 minute too long and they get mushy, I'm out.
But
they can't be soft.
Oh no! But that would be undercooked, not overcooked, wouldn't they?
No, if you're overcook them, they turn into mush.
Okay, they look because they're crisp. Yeah, because okay, I see what you mean. Okay,
yeah,
I'm trying to think through it. Okay,
it's not really about the length of the cooking; it's the weight, it's the temperature, and how
heat.
you do it. And yeah,
a crispy Brussels sprout is by far my favorite.
Absolutely. But if it gets soft,
see, Big Ben's right. Yeah, you eat something. There are several vegetables I eat medically. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, like just okay. I know I need them. Just okay, but we're gonna get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Now, if you give me like a bowl of broccoli, I'm gonna sit there and just eat them all immediately. And
I like broccoli.
Away. Mm.
Really?
Mm.
Oh, I could eat broccoli almost anyway.
Broccoli and spaghetti squash, my two least favorite.
Can't stand it. I don't like any squash. I'm just out on squash. Hey, caller, go ahead.
Hey, guys, this is Jackson. How y'all doing?
Hey, Jackson, what's up?
Oh, not much, man. Yeah, my bad on that, Neal. Should have been throwing out the great places to eat.
No, you're good. They're not the people in the stream. You're okay. We're gonna keep it somewhat a secret, right?
Yeah. Not prepared to. That's one of the few places that I go, and I like that place, and it's just it's really good.
That place got me through college. Yeah, but I was just curious. I know you touched on it earlier, Neal. What y'all think about this Tez Walker situation? Like, why was this even a debate? Why did they just now lift the weight?
My guess is that they finally lifted it. So oh man, I could go off on the multitude of rants here because this checked like so many boxes on my bingo card. Number one, he should have been cleared in the first place because he started out at North Carolina Central. They didn't play in the COVID year because of the COVID stuff. And so he transferred to a MAC school. I can't remember which one. I want to say Miami of Ohio, but I might have my MAC schools.
Kent State.
I think he went to
Kent State. Went to Kent State. He went to Kent State, had a great career there, and then he got into the portal, and he always wanted to go to North Carolina. North Carolina offered, so he goes to North Carolina. Even though he technically transferred twice, he really only transferred once. And he should have been cleared to play.
Right. So, yeah, but that's the whole thing with the NCAA. Granted, like you said, just because somebody's in a position doesn't mean they're smart. But shouldn't the common sense come into effect at some point in this decision?
Yes.
Well, and then the NCAA blames North Carolina today.
And how did they do it? They did it by leaking it to the friendly media who would play along. Nicole, Pat, all the gang, the St. Elmo's gang got this leaked to them and blamed North Carolina for it. And what I suspect happened is North Carolina said, we're suing you on behalf of this kid.
NCAA staff received new information regarding UNC student athlete Tez Walker this week. Staff determined the new information qualifies for a transfer waiver. The information had not been made available by UNC despite previous multiple chances to do so. It's unfortunate that UNC failed to provide this important information previously. While we must be careful not to compromise an athlete's right to privacy when it comes to sensitive issues, we want to assure the Division I membership and everyone watching how the new rules are applied. that this meets the new transfer waiver standards. UNC's behavior and decision to wage a public relations campaign is inappropriate and outside the bounds of the process UNC's own staff supported. Had the UNC staff not behaved in this fashion and submitted the information weeks ago, the entire unfortunate episode could have been avoided. Good God.
I have my bingo card. It's right here. Bingo.
The whole damn bingo.
Bingo.
The whole
bingo.
damn bingo.
Pathetic. I hate them so much. This is
Good
what
God.
This is what I hate about them.
The new information is we are taking your ass to court.
Yes.
That's it.
Bingo. All the bingos.
Yeah. They're terrible.
They're awful.
But this is just another reason for the conversation to come up for these large schools, because now you have teams leaving their conferences to just say, to hell with the NCAA. We're just going to go do our own thing.
I know, and I think it's going to happen. I just think it's so problematic for schools when you say, okay, well, how do we do this? What does this look like when we pull everything out? And if you just pull football and men's basketball, what happens to women's basketball? What happens to baseball? And if you pull those sports, what happens to tennis and soccer and golf and track and swimming? And how does all that work? Like, do you still have a conference?
Yeah.
Because now you don't have any revenue in the conference. It's one thing, and I'm all for it. It's one thing to go, we're going to pull everything out and we're going to just run it through ourselves. And then it's another thing to go, okay, well, now let's do it, right? What we're talking about is drawing up the plans for this gorgeous house on the ocean. The second part is, okay, now let's lay the center beam and let's get started on this thing, and let's take into account all the geography and all the topography and all of the cost and stuff. All of a sudden, it's a little more complicated process than it was to draw the picture of the house.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm going to leave y'all with one more question, and I'm going to let y'all get back to it. But I really appreciate the content that you guys put out and all the hard work y'all do. You make my work week go by a lot quicker.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I know the guy. I'm actually a fan of John Sokoloff. But does he try to even go to the Auburn game in 2 weeks?
If they send him, he will.
Could you?
I mean, John.
He will.
He was in New Orleans.
He was in New Orleans. John's not. He was in Oxford last week. He's not scared of Lane. And then Lane said in the press conference, he goes, "I'm messing with you because I only mess with people I like." John's not. He's not a state guy. John grew up and John spent Tuesday and Wednesday in Philadelphia. He's a Phillies fan. He grew up in that area. He went to school at Ithaca.
Oh, really?
I think, which is. Yeah. I don't think it's related to Mississippi State.
Not to my knowledge.
No, I don't think. And so, I'll try to get John to come on the show the week of the Auburn game, and we'll go through it one more time. He's been a good sport about it in the past. I mean, I know what happened.
Yeah.
He wrote it too strongly, and his editors failed him.
But I think he had a legit source, though. I mean, there's no way you could push that without having one.
Sources. He had more than one source.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to go. I really appreciate it, and talk to y'all soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
So the question in this thread from Russell Harris, are we going to talk about the new Mel Tucker information? I've read it briefly today.
Yeah, I'm reading through it right now. His attorneys have released tons of text messages between him and Brenda Tracy.
Right.
The main point they are trying to, you can actually view all the text messages on clickondetroit.com is the website. Appears to be a local Channel 4 news station there in Detroit. She alleged multiple times she does not date anyone in her field and that this was an isolated incident. And he has apparently a lot of text that highlight, talk about catching strays, new evidence that she was in a relationship with new Georgia Tech basketball coach Damon Stoudemire.
Ooh.
The Damon Stoudemire you're all aware of.
Yeah.
So he got up this morning, and that was not where he thought his day was going. He was an assistant with the Celtics from 21 to 23 when these things would have been going on.
Okay.
So that is, she said she does not, quote, date people in her field. And Tucker's attorney said, we want to be certain that each of you are privy to some of the newly discovered evidence, primarily in the form of messages authored by Miss Tracy herself, but also including new witness statements that she hoped and obviously anticipated you would never see, the letter says. The new evidence includes around 20,000 new communications or documents involving Tracy, Tucker's lawyers said, contradicting her claims and suggests she manipulated a key witness, the university, Mr. Tucker, and the public. You should know that she allegedly deleted key evidence and provided only self-serving excerpts to the OIE, Office of Institutional Equity, to sustain a claim of harassment that MSU should never be investigating in the first place. They're from...
And in case anyone wants to know what Ginger's talking about Road Trip is a movie released in 2000. A group of students embark on an epic road trip from Ithaca, New York to Austin, Texas in a race against time to save their
I am not too young to know that. I know
relationship.
that movie.
The young man picks up a girl at a wild fraternity party and films their raunchy antics. Somehow the homemade movie gets mailed.
I have seen Road Trip probably 20 times.
To his girlfriend in Texas. Can the guys intercept the incriminating tape before it reaches her VCR?
You ever seen that one?
I've not, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that is kind of in my age wheelhouse.
Got a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It got 57?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, so that's what it says.
If we were playing the Rotten Tomatoes game, I would have said 34. I mean, 57. Oh, wow.
Got a 57.
That means more than half didn't hate it.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Well, but they're not Rotten Tomatoes, but they get confused sometimes. They're not grading it 0 to 100. It's percentage of reviews that are positive,
right,
is the way they do it. Wow. Okay.
And then the Dan Enos thing, he was responding to emails or tweets with his campus email as recently as like last week. I think it was after the BYU game. Maybe it was this week. I don't know. Not a good look.
September 10th, 2021, text message. Tracy said, why is every man in my direct messages asking me out now? It's like they can sense that I'm dating someone already. I will not get distracted. I have a good thing going with Damon. On October 27th, 2021, when Stoudemire was an assistant with the Celtics, they were hosting the Washington Wizards, and she texted Alvarado. I'm assuming that's the witness that they say she is manipulating.
Okay.
Watching the DJ at halftime. Thank God I graduated to a coach on the bench. LOL. I don't know. Talks about his tight pants at one point, a little higher up the text chain.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going through all the text messages, but those are some cliffs from the.
But what's very clear is that Michigan State. Here's the two things that bother me about this story: is that Michigan State wanted to fire Mel Tucker and they wanted to not have to pay for it.
Yeah, 100%.
If you want to fire him,
they gave a bad contract.
Yeah, it's on you. And then the second thing is that ESPN had some writers who participated in this surreptitiously. And your job in the media is not to make the news. It's to cover the news. It's to report the news. It's not to be the news. She supposedly also covers. His attorney is alleging that she was running out of money, and so she was trying to sell this story to news outlets.
He has some text messages from her that are talking about accepting gifts and tickets and different things, when one of her things was she would never accept anything from him or anyone else that would compromise the position.
Okay.
And there are texts with her and that other person who I don't know who it is, talking about how much money he's making a month, him signing his contract. She's going to ask him to finance some different parts of some things. He'll do it. He'll give tickets. We just need to check calendar and keep dates open for things. All that's in the...
this is Damon?
Yeah. Tucker's lawyers introduced an unnamed new witness who is familiar with Miss Tracy's representations regarding the relationship. No, that was about Tucker.
Oh, okay.
That witness came forward under oath and said the two were in some sort of relationship when the conversation took place. The phone sex was consensual, from a new witness today.
Yes.
I have a feeling Michigan State's going to end up paying Mel Tucker.
Well, look, here's the thing. if the phone sex weren't consensual,
it wouldn't have lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah. I started to say that. I feel like Michael Scott in The Office.
Sorry. Yeah. Good job.
Don't say it.
Good job.
Don't say it.
Good. Okay. Never mind.
But the other thing is she wouldn't have texted him 2 weeks later to say Happy Father's Day. If she were truly that offended, that traumatized. I'm guessing.
Again,
Right?
she didn't hang up. You're on the phone. Click.
It hit the off button.
What'd you say? She was so stunned she couldn't hang up or something?
Yeah.
I got questions.
I got lots of questions. And he admitted that on the phone call, and he has admitted that he admitted it, that he was indeed
doing
what you would do in that situation. So she knew he was doing that and stayed on the phone anyway. I mean, I would argue that at that point becomes at least some form of agreement.
Consent.
That was the word I was trying to dance around, but sure.
It's true.
Are you doing that? Yes. Okay, if you're offended, you should say, well, I can't stay on the phone. That's a bridge too far. Good night. Right?
Yeah, hey, you've been drinking. Look, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm going to get off the phone now.
That's inappropriate.
Peace.
That's not the kind of relationship that we have. Peace out. If you stay on the phone to the point of the being completed,
go ahead,
and you're aware that that is reaching that point in
climax.
Yes. If you're aware of that, it is safe for me to argue that you are either participating or you are a bystander at that point, but you're a willing bystander at that point.
Big Ben is right. Implied consent is definitely at play here. Yes. Any reasonable person would imply consent.
There's a mutual understanding at that point, as Mac Attack says. Yes. Yeah, I agree with Ginger. You hang up the phone. She either participated or willingly waited for things to calm down. In the 34-minute call.
Yeah, something like that.
After midnight.
Was it?
Yes. Just saying. Did he pay her to stay on the phone? I don't know. There's no that's not been alleged.
That's true. It was just a phone call. It wasn't FaceTime, was it? To the best of our knowledge.
To the best of my knowledge, it was a phone call. There was not even a video element to this.
Very much like a Bill and Monica vibe to this. Like we're back in the 90s a little bit, isn't there?
A little bit.
Ginger is very perplexed by the length of this phone call.
That's yeah. Well, it's the only link that was an issue in this particular issue. Yes. Because
everyone's kind of freaked out and impressed all at the same time.
Does he have 12 kids? Tucker? No, surely not.
No.
Yeah, this episode brought to you by our friends at Blue Chew.
Well, we used to do the sildenafil for Tyson Drugs back when it was the thing.
We did,
yeah. God, I think 15-minute quickie was the thing because that's how long it took to kick in.
Oh, is that right?
I think that was the tagline we went with back in the day. I think that's right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I listen. I think he's going to get a settlement. He's going to get at least some of the money that he was owed because I'm not sure that this constitutes bad judgment, right? I don't know. I don't know the way the contract is specifically written, but it's difficult for me to believe that this rises to the point of being unethical.
Rises.
Yes.
It's still a family show. We've not used one word that is not completely.
So I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, that's the information regarding Mel Tucker today. Again, whatever that website is, you can find all the different.
That's what I hated. I hated that it wasn't true that Bruce Feldman killed the fun, because I was so excited about the idea of them firing Mel Tucker and then hiring Urban Meyer.
Oh, God.
I was completely signed up for that. Because that would prove that this has nothing to do with your behavior off the field. Nothing whatsoever. This is 100%.
We gave you $90 or $100 million, and we shouldn't have.
Yes.
95, I think is what it was.
Was it that much?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he got a ton out of what was the running back that basically led him to
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, to the 10 or 11 win season.
Hey, Jimmy Sexton's he's good.
He capitalizes on opportunities.
He's good. I'll defend his role in this to the death.
Oh, he did nothing wrong.
He got his client as much money as he could.
10-year, $95 million.
Whoa. 10 years, $95 million off of like one good season. 2 good seasons.
I mean, yeah, let's pull it up. This is going to be a fight for a while.
Yeah, that's enough money that you fight for it.
2-5, 11-2, 5-7, 2-0.
So
2-5, 11-2. COVID year 2-5.
Right.
21, 11-2.
Yep.
5-7 and 22, and then started the year 2-0.
So they gave him $95 million for an 11-2 season.
Yes.
Hey, it's good work if you can get it. Who do we have?
Hey guys, it's Bobbin.
Hey, Bobbin, what's up, man?
Nothing much. How are y'all?
Good.
Good. Neal, this is the one weekend out of a year, right, where House McCready is basically a packed Airbnb, right?
No, because this weekend is also Cayo orientation. So I think Caroline's going to be able to come home late tomorrow, but I don't think she's bringing anybody with her. And then Campbell had a friend who was going to meet her here, but her graduate school work was too extensive this weekend, so she can't make it. So no, we don't have a full house.
Oh, I got you. I've been meaning to tag you on the board, by the way. If you had to rank the atmosphere from last Saturday night in comparison to all the other Ole Miss games you've covered, where would that be at?
I didn't see the second half, so I'm at a disadvantage of this.
It was number 2.
Behind what?
Alabama
14.
Yeah, 14.
I wasn't at the game. I'm now in hindsight, I really wish I would have made the drive up from a coast and gone. But I mean, out of the Ole Miss games I've been to, based off of what I could tell through the TV screen, I think obviously Bama would probably beat it out. But I think that might have been the craziest spot Hemingway has gotten in a while.
And in many ways, it was a better atmosphere because of all the pyrotechnics that they had going on. All of the music was.
They've done a really good job of overhauling a lot of the game day experience stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It felt. I mean, it was electric. I mean, it was loud. I was down on the field at the end when Ole Miss was driving, and then obviously when LSU was driving to try to steal it, and it was intense. It was not, at least to me, it did not feel as intense as those final 3 or 4 minutes of the Alabama game in 14, where you could feel in that. I don't know if you were there or not that day, but you could feel like a different level of tension in the air. That was when Ole Miss missed the extra point.
The air going out of a building.
When Ole Miss missed the extra point and Alabama drove.
Missed it. Are you talking about when Ole Miss scored the game-winning touch? So they missed the first one, but there was a roughing the kicker,
and then missed it again.
I think the second one got blocked.
Yeah, do you remember that?
It got blocked. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I think
And then,
everybody in the building
I'll
thought it
never-
was going to be 31-30.
Yeah,
24-23.
I was in the student section.
Yeah.
I was in the student section, and I remember Bama got the ball, and they hit Amari Cooper on like an intermediate throw, and he got it all the way to like the Ole Miss 40 or 35, and it just felt like the air went out of the building. Like, oh boy, here we go. We're about to lose by 1 point because we couldn't make a PAT. But no, I mean it looked like it was a crazy environment. Which I mean it should be that for the LSU game. That's why everyone's worried Ole Miss is going to be hungover for this game. I'm like, look, it's a night game. It should be a pretty electric atmosphere. I feel like, and plus I just think this is a bad Arkansas team. I do.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
think
bad.
they're very good.
They're not.
I don't know if y'all talked about it yet. It just got confirmed apparently that their offensive coordinator is responding to students via email that are criticizing.
Really?
him.
Yeah, that's what I was just telling you a minute ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
That's usually not a warning sign that your program is trending downward. Which I mean, well, some OCs just like doing that, right, Chase? They like keeping receipts.
hey, look, just checking in, seeing how you and the kids are doing, the whole deal. Hey.
Yeah, just want to catch up and make sure everything's all good. So I listened to a little bit of the show you did with Pete, Neal. I was kind of working, so I was kind of fading in and out, attention span wise. Did he say anything about what kind of defense he thought Ole Miss was going to throw in Arkansas? Because I mean, I'm not an X's and O's football savant. But I've been telling people I kind of feel like they're going to throw a lot of the similar stuff they threw at Alabama.
He didn't really get into it much. Mostly he was talking about the differences in Ole Miss's offense from earlier in the season to Saturday, and then after that it was mostly what he thought Arkansas would try to do offensively.
Okay. See, because, I mean, a lot of people are freaking out about the defense, and I get it, but I don't know if y'all probably have discussed it. Look, Jaden Daniels last Saturday night, a lot of those throws he made were against pretty good coverage, and he was just so on the money that the LSU receivers were the only ones that could make the play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But listen, even Lane said this, and I agree with Kiffin completely. I mean, that is true. That's the most talented offense you'll play. It's certainly the most skilled offense you'll play. And he did drop a couple of just absolute dimes in deep passes. But they ran the ball at will. There were receivers running open. There were blown coverages. There were bad. It was not a good defensive effort. If you give up 670, it was a rough day at the office. They've got a lot of stuff they've got to clean up. And then, the one thing people have consistently said is that there's just a lack of speed on that defense. And I thought you saw that Saturday.
Yeah, there were a lot of people on the board, I feel like, in June, July, August, that their hot take was that this Ole Miss this year's defense was going to surprise people. It was going to exceed expectations, and I just thought that was thin. I mean, I feel like you can see it in recruiting as soon as Golding got in. I mean, how many DBs did they grab out of the portal? How many linebackers did they get out of the portal?
It was more than 20.
I mean,
more than 20 players on defense alone. I mean, had they lost, that was the lead to my column. There were warning signs. There were warning signs in January that there was concern about the defense.
I mean, hell, the rumor that's going around, that's been around for a minute, was Golding walked in and looked at that defensive back room and was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it's true. It's just
they added more than 20 guys on defense. Tells you everything.
Yeah, 100%. But all right, well, appreciate everything y'all been doing content wise. I hope y'all have a good one.
Later, Bob.
Appreciate you.
All right.
He probably wouldn't care, but I have to make sure I don't dox him every time. Like, say his real name.
Okay.
Like, I have to kind of
I don't know his
every
real name.
single time it almost comes out.
Would he get mad if you dox?
No, I don't think so at all. He didn't bring up the Saints either, so that was a positive.
Oh.
Got through that without having to talk about that dumpster fire situation.
Who do the Saints have this weekend? They have the Patriots. I've got the under.
What else you taking?
Over under's 39.
Oh, it's going down now.
Yeah.
It was like 40 and a half last I saw it.
What has to happen, the reason it takes a minute is I have to connect it to Bluetooth.
Welcome to AT&T's teleconference service. Please enter your access code, followed by...
Oops, I don't know what that was.
That's not us.
That wasn't us. Hey, who do we have? Hey, you're on.
Hey, it's Stephen Greenville.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I know Stephen Greenville.
Yeah, gotcha. What's up?
Hey, Chase, I know you're into true crime.
I am.
I've been reading a lot about Watergate lately.
Oh.
And this ties in with something Neal said in the past, that reporter that wrote the article on Kiffin last year, his editor knew who his source was.
Yes.
Well,
100%.
I just want to point out that Woodward and Bernstein never told their editor. He said he didn't want to know.
Whew. You're saying Bill Bradley never knew who the source was for Watergate?
He said, and you can find this in multiple places, he said, I read what they had. I knew I had a family. I told them to go with it.
Wow. That was never.
Now, I'll give you one more.
That was never my experience as a investigative reporter. So, never.
Now, I'll give you one more. Woodward was an education major in college.
That's correct.
His first job out of the Navy was the Washington Post.
Yeah, which was for the time, like today, that would not be all that rare because they hire a lot of Ivies and that kind of thing. But back then, when he was coming up, you never started at a paper like that. You had to start at smaller papers and work your way up. And typically you started in different parts of the country and you worked your way east or west to the big papers.
And, he was in naval intelligence.
It's almost
now,
it's almost
Throat
like
was
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Deep Throat was the assistant director of the FBI. 4 of the 5 guys that broke into Watergate were CIA informants. And the week before Watergate, Nixon told the director of the CIA he knew who killed John Kennedy.
Oh.
Makes you wonder. Oh, and Ford was the leading Republican on the Warren Commission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Felt was the former FBI assistant director who was Deep Throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Tapes.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
Tapes show that Nixon himself.
Go ahead.
Tapes show that Nixon himself had speculated that Felt was the secret informant as early as 1973.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, he went to jail because of Watergate. Served 3 years.
Who's that?
Felt, Deep Throat.
Oh, really?
Felt went to
turned around and bit him.
I didn't know about Mark Felt.
Yeah, we went for 3 years, I believe.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I got that from an Ann Coulter article, so take it for what it's worth. But yeah. So just a little interesting tidbits there.
Well, it's definitely interesting for sure.
So,
it's one of those things where we don't we just don't know the whole truth on a lot of these things.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just going to say there is precedent, you know what I'm trying to say, for not telling your editor who your source is.
Okay. That's interesting. Appreciate the call.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
You ever done the Watergate deep dive?
Not the way I have other things.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've done some like podcasts and stuff where I think it was.
I listened to what was Slow Burn.
Yeah,
their season on it,
and it was good.
It's fine. For whatever, as much as I'm into a lot of political stuff like that, that one doesn't interest me the same way. I just haven't done that.
There are people who think it was a total setup, and Nixon sort of fell for it.
I mean,
because there wasn't a lot to it, and there was the crazy thing about Watergate is that there was no reason for Nixon to be so concerned about that. He was being reelected by a wide margin.
Mm-hmm. It's one where you kind of like, if the internet had been around,
yeah,
like, does that really become? Is that feels bigger for the time than maybe in general?
So in a world where it wasn't Oswald who killed Kennedy, are there people who know exactly who it was that did pull the trigger? If there's a world where it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald who fired the headshot,
hypothetically,
yes. If that's the case, do you believe that people know who that was?
Yeah.
And that's so is that information that it got out?
I don't know. I say that, but I mean, keeping the secret for 60 years.
That's always been my thing.
Nobody says. I mean,
that's it, because that's an awfully big secret. That might be the biggest secret.
No, and I'm changing my mind. No, because I don't think anybody just takes that and never says a word. Why? What purpose does it serve? Unless you're the person who pulled the trigger. I mean, what? Why? I have this crazy secret that would blow the world away, but now I'm good.
So why, in your opinion, have all the files not been released? Donald Trump supposedly, this is the latest thing I read, because Trump always said he would release the files.
Okay.
And shortly after he left the White House, this isn't political, everybody relax. He was asked, why didn't you release the files? And Trump supposedly told this person, if you had seen what was in those files, you wouldn't have wanted me to release them.
Does that implicate some other things, though? Not
I don't
necessarily.
Know. I don't know.
To me, I read that in, hey, there were tentacles here that went in a bunch of directions that you're completely not going to trust government. But like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like something that was not necessarily even about the shooter, but about just the overarching way of the existence of the democracy, if you will.
Well, because if it were like in a hypothetical world where that was a CIA hit.
I mean, multiple people saying, okay, if that's the case, where's Hoffa? I mean, I get it. I understand.
Right. In a hypothetical world, and I'm not saying this is true or isn't. I don't know. Okay. Obviously, if I knew, I'd write the story and make my millions.
Yeah. The book would be popular.
In a hypothetical world where the CIA was behind the Kennedy assassination, multiple people would have had to know.
Oh.
And there were plans to get him that were uncovered, right? In Chicago, other places. He was not super popular with the military establishment.
Mm-hmm.
So there would have been multiple people who would have known. So if it were a CIA hit, it wouldn't have been like one rogue person. It would have been
an organized effort.
And it probably would have gone fairly high up.
Or only high up. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It might not have gone very far down. Right. But it would have started, I'm guessing that's not a middle of the road CIA operation.
Hey, Jeff, you're new around here.
Hey, Jeff, do us a favor. Draw up a plan to kill the president.
Yeah.
And then, hey, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Don't tell us anything. Come on.
Yes, Hoffa's buried in the Meadowlands. Correct. Yes.
Didn't they actually like look in the end zones and stuff and try to see if he was actually there?
Was it Geraldo that tried to find him that time?
Geraldo did the thing in the vault that was
right,
and it was like a total.
Was that Hoffa?
And it was a total bust. I can't remember what that was. The vault was. What was the vault? They were supposed to uncover like all sorts of riches and stuff, and it was just nothing.
Yeah, I think that's right.
This Al Capone's
Oh, it was Capone.
Capone.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't. Well, Hoffa, we were on the right path. We just had it wrong.
All the same.
Yeah, the vault was empty. Yeah. One of Tyler's friends, the former Kansas coach, his father was with the FBI. He was one of the people, or he was actually with the Dallas police. He was escorting Oswald out of the jail. They were moving him to another jail when he was killed by Jack Ruby. And when he died, supposedly according to David Beatty, is who this is, the FBI showed up at the house and told David's mother that there was one shooter. Remember, there was one shooter. There was only one shooter. And that she called the kids into the room and said, if you're ever asked, there was just one shooter. Just one shooter. He remembers that from his childhood, which is something you would remember, your father dying and that being what your mother says to you.
I remember this.
There's a lot of stuff in that deal now. The Kennedy thing is wild. It was David Beatty, his dad. He was, I think, with the Dallas Police Department.
Oh, really?
I think that's right. He was standing right behind Oswald when he was shot. You never know where the Thursday night show goes. If you had said, "Hey, we're going to talk about Jimmy Hoffa, Al Capone, and John Kennedy," I wouldn't have guessed.
Buford Lee Beatty at the scene.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he died shortly. He didn't live a lot longer.
Yeah, 2015 is when he first told the story, and it's all over the internet where David told the story.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. He was the Kansas coach at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
No.
I did see Tyler is frustrated with Josh Pate today on Twitter because Pate pointed out that Brady Cook has thrown 348 consecutive passes without an interception. It's the fifth longest streak in FBS history. The Mizzou quarterback.
Why is Tyler frustrated at Pate for pointing that out?
I don't know. Has he bet on Missouri? Is he all in on the Tigers?
No, he's more in on LSU.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Although he's concerned about some things he's heard about LSU's defense.
He needed to hear something?
Well, apparently there's more, which you might guess. If you give up 707 yards? 700.
As Lane said, that's not simply not getting the tackle in the right place.
I don't know the exact numbers, so forgive me. But when you give up more than 700 yards of offense to a team and you give up 55 points to a team, there's not just one problem on your defense. There's a myriad.
As has been mentioned in the thread, and I saw it on the internet a minute ago, yes, Dick Butkus has passed away at the age of 80, the Bears linebacker.
Oh.
Died overnight last night, actually, at his home in Malibu, California.
It was before my time, obviously. I do remember going to the University of Illinois football stadium, and his name's pretty prominent there.
Is it?
Yeah, as you might expect. I mean, one of the all-time greats.
Born 1942 in Chicago.
Yeah, he's my parents' age.
Linebacker for the Bears from 65 to 73.
He's Joe Biden's age.
Oh.
Born in the same year.
Yeah. Illinois 62 to 64. Third pick of the 1965 NFL draft. Second round, 9th pick of the AFL draft in 1965.
Oh.
Yes.
How long did he play for the Bears?
65 to 73. So only played like 9 seasons. That's kind of, I would have guessed longer.
And he played in a violent era of football. I mean,
anything goes.
Literally.
It wouldn't work today.
No, I don't know that people would watch that today.
Hall of Famers went 3, 4, and 12 in the first round of the NFL draft in 65. The first 2 picks did not. They were Pro Bowlers, however.
Okay.
Tucker Fredrickson went number 1 to the Giants.
Okay.
Ken Willard went number 2 to the 49ers. Butkus and Gale Sayers went back-to-back to the Bears.
Good draft for the Bears.
They had a good draft.
Yeah.
You know what? The Bears went, hey.
Mitch Trubisky says, hey, you didn't always screw it up.
And then number 12, the St. Louis Cardinals took Joe Namath.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised Namath lasted to the 12th pick.
Jack Snow, Pro Bowler. Donnie Anderson, Pro Bowler.
Jack
Mike
Snow's
Curtis.
son is JT Snow.
Is that really?
Uh-huh.
Didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Fred Biletnikoff, Hall of Famer, went 39th overall in this draft to the Lions.
Yeah.
Jim Norton was in this draft.
Jim Norton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that name.
Let's see. Johnny Rowland apparently is a Pro Bowler. I don't know. Marty Schottenheimer was drafted in this draft. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm stopping.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm it just kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, how come we're not obsessed with the McKinley assassination or the Garfield assassination? Why are we only obsessed with Lincoln and Kennedy? Was McKinley the one he was killed in Buffalo?
That sounds right. Because you can't say time period. No, I mean Lincoln's been a minute. Like,
yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, I get that he was a more famous president.
So the way I'm asking here, did the draft work where the AFL and NFL had separate drafts, and whatever draft the player went higher in is where they went? Because Namath was taken number 1 overall by the Jets in the AFL draft, so he went to the Jets. Yeah, how does this work?
James Garfield was the 20th president of the United States. He was shot at the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station in Washington, D.C. at 9:30 a.m. on July the 2nd, 1881. He died in Elberon, New Jersey, 79 days later. The shooting occurred less than 4 months into his term as president. I bet you can't name his assassin. See, this is my point.
Did he have 3 names?
No.
Oh.
Kind of has a French sound to it.
So it even broke protocol.
Charles J. Guiteau wanted revenge against Garfield for an imagined political debt and to elevate Chester A. Arthur to the presidency.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it's a different time. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt would just get out in the streets and start beating up criminals as the president.
Guiteau claimed several times that the doctors killed Garfield. I just shot him, and history seems to have proven him correct because apparently he was not.
Really?
Apparently he died of sepsis.
Okay.
Not the actual. He suffered 2 gunshots, but did not die until 80 days later because of complications from sepsis.
Okay. I could understand sepsis, probably a pretty common thing.
If you get shot, right?
Yeah.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, guys, it's Austin.
Hey, Austin, what's up?
Not much. Hey, so first off, between Neal's rant about Trevor Bauer's situation on Tuesday and today with the North Carolina situation, like, I think this has been like one of the best weeks of podcasts y'all have had in a while. Just saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. So my question is this. It's actually kind of twofold. So Trevor Bauer, like, I'm curious if what you guys think about this. So my question's twofold, and I already kind of know the answer to one, but the other one I feel like I genuinely don't know the answer to. So number one, do you believe he's pitching in the major leagues in the next 2 seasons anywhere? And number two, do you think she ever sees the inside of a prison cell? Because I think we can all agree she needs to go to jail.
No to both questions.
Yeah, answer is no to both questions. He doesn't pitch in the bigs again. He's in his 30s now. And
he wasn't very good this year.
Yeah. I mean, this has probably taken quite a toll on him. And then the second part is no, because this should be a crime, but
it's not technically.
It's not technically a crime.
Yeah, I agree with that. It just leaves a really, really sour taste in my mouth. I'll tell you the truth. Like, and the sad part is this is probably not going to be the last time this happens either. That's even sadder. But I was curious what you guys thought about that. I actually had no idea he was pitching in Japan this season until Chase said that on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I didn't even know that. So
he was even demoted
guys,
into
I'll
like
leave
a
y'all to
minor
it.
level or something. I don't know how their minor leagues work, but not even their highest level.
See, I didn't even know that. I can imagine that this is probably taking a toll on them, like you guys said.
Oh, I mean, sure.
So,
can you imagine?
Anyway, oh, dude, like this is all like I couldn't like just all of a sudden having to pick up life and just move halfway across the world to do something that you used to be world renowned for. Like, I mean, while you're going through this, I mean, my gosh, it's crazy. I don't know. It just makes me feel really, really yucky. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, sure. Should. I mean, you never want to see someone lose their livelihood because of a false accusation. That's awful.
Right. Well, like I said, guys, thank y'all for an awesome week entertainment. I appreciate what you guys do. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend.
Yep. Same to you. Thank you for the call.
By the way, we haven't really talked about it. For those who are curious, Square Jam starts at 6:30 tomorrow night. People asking about that. Some different places.
What's the weather tomorrow night?
I don't know, Saturday's like kind of cooling off a little bit.
Into the low 40s.
Yeah. Getting into your area.
Yeah. Jason, how are you?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Neal, what's up? It's Jason Greer.
Yeah, that's what I said. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Are we on?
You're on.
All right. Well, hey, I was calling to let everybody know that, the Charity Bowl has been going on now for a long time, and we're going to raise money this year for Chris Mitchell. I hope everybody will contribute. I'm hoping we can raise $500,000 for Chris and make sure that his financial future is taken care of. I was made aware of Chris's situation, and my son Jack, for the others you don't know, he played for Ole Miss. He transferred to Memphis, and he had just so much Ole Miss stuff. It was just a shame to do anything but give it away. So we sold it and gave Chris $1,500. And with all due respect to Chris, that $1,500 was way too important to him. We tried to get the money to him. He didn't have an ID. I mean, he is that $1,500 is everything he has, and we just got it to him today. I think Joanne Patterson got it to him today. So, Chris Mitchell is an Ole Miss hero. He was the first to wear 38, and he doesn't have anything. And the Ole Miss family needs to get together and make sure he has a future because he's paralyzed.
How can people contribute, Jason? How can people contribute? How do they get to you?
So there's a link on the. I put a post on the website yesterday, I think. If there's a GoFundMe, if you can either pin that up the top or somebody can bump it or I'll bump it.
Yeah, bump it. Bump it for me.
Is on there.
Bump it for me and I'll pin it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it. I've given the most money right now for $1,500, and I just want to challenge all Ole Miss people that somebody needs to go way over that today. So, and all I was doing was matching the donation that Jack's clothes that he sold, Miss gear that he sold was $1,500. So everybody needs to get involved and help Chris out. So that's about all. But hey, since I'm on here, I just wanted to tell all the Ole Miss listeners that when I was rest chairman at Sigma Nu, I rest Neal. I got his blue card. If you're really old, you know what a blue card is. And I got Neal's blue card. And I got in touch with him and met him during pre-college and rushed him. And Chase, have you ever heard this story?
I have not. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I rushed him. And he came down to us and Fidel, and I really thought he was going Sigma Nu, and showed up at bid day, and Neal broke my heart and went Fidel.
I did. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
All these people, it was a long time ago.
All
these people that say Neal doesn't go to Ole Miss and isn't an Ole Miss fan, just seriously shut up. I knew Neal when he was a senior in high school, man. The guy's a hardcore journalist. I was a journalism major. Neal was too. So anyway, I got to tell another funny story of Neal and I that I thought everybody would appreciate. So Ray Young, the father of Trey Young, reported to me. He was on my sales team. And I knew that he was going to declare for the NBA draft. So I told Neal, and a lot of people don't know that Neal broke that Trey Young was going pro before anybody else. It was on the Rebel Grove.
Got no credit at all.
Board.
I even tweeted it. Got no credit whatsoever.
I
was the first person to say that Trey Young was going pro.
You beat Wojciechowski.
I know.
So anyway. Well, that's enough story time. I just wanted to call about Chris, and Chase, it's good talking to you. I met you in front of the St. Leo about 2 months ago.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So, and okay, well, guys, thanks for letting me on and letting me plug the event and the charity for Chris, and I'll go bump it right now.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate you.
We'll pin it. Thank you, Jason.
Okay, we'll see y'all.
And yeah, I don't know where I had that about Bauer. He actually, he won a couple month awards and then was an all-star in the Nippon League.
So he didn't get demoted.
No.
Okay.
I don't know why I had that, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At least, again, per the story I'm reading.
Why would you not sign him if you're a major league team? As hard as it is to get pitching. Especially
if he'd been demoted, it was since he was player of the month, which
especially if you're a small market team. Why would you not go add Trevor Bauer? He probably would sign for a lot less right now. Don't you think?
Yes. Anything to get an entry back.
I mean, he'd sign a 1-year deal for $3, $4, $5 million.
Yes.
Why would you not?
Won the honor as part of the league's +1 fan vote, which he beat his closest competitor. I'm assuming this is just a grammatical error. It has to be by over 1,000%. That's a lot. Per the story I'm reading.
Yeah, I'm as a Cub fan. Why are we not offering him a deal? Maybe they will, but why would you not? Hey, $6 million to come potentially be the ace of my staff.
Mm-hmm.
1-year deal, put some options on it or whatnot.
And be the team that gave him the shot and try to keep him if it works.
I mean, the answer to that is, well, it's going to be politically incorrect. Why? Why is it he's innocent? That's the part that I can't stand. He's innocent.
Mm-hmm. By all sides now.
It's been proven.
Mm-hmm.
And don't tell me about other women unless there's other stuff that's out there. We're talking about this woman. Major League Baseball suspended him because of this woman. And she's now been proven to be a liar.
Mm-hmm.
He should be able to pitch. And he would probably take a low number for a 1-year deal to prove himself, and then he would try to sign some big extension somewhere. But okay.
Yeah, he's got to prove it first. So,
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, we're just now kind of getting into that part.
Big Ben says supposedly he's a huge whatever on his own. But here's the thing, and this isn't – Chase knows what I'm about to say. There's a lot of really nice guys in baseball. There's a lot of those in baseball too. A lot. A whole lot. In sports.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, sometimes to be the very top of your game, you kind of have to have some of that. So, I mean, that's not it. He can pitch. Can he get outs? Because if the answer to the question is can he get outs at the major league level is yes, then he should be getting a contract. And if the answer is why is he not getting it, it can't be because, well, he's kind of a jerk. There's lots of jerks.
Yeah, that's not the way we judge that.
That's
at
not
all, in any way.
It's a meritocracy.
Yeah.
Can you get outs? Because if you can get outs, you should be able to get a contract. And if the answer to why isn't he well, those allegations were really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they were proven to be wrong. Okay, he can get outs. And then it can't be, and this is the problem, and the reason the media went after him, it can't be, I don't look like his political beliefs. That's not supposed to be a part of.
No, I get what matters. There's 30 teams. How many? Does somebody?
I mean, you're telling me there aren't other guys in other clubhouses who
believe in that direction,
who are conservative, who are liberal, who are moderates, whatever? Come on. Those are people that come from all over the world. You have players from Japan and the Dominican and Puerto Rico and the Caribbean and North America and Canada. I mean, there's a lot. What you got?
I was thinking the Broncos-Jets game is on Sunday. It's kind of lost all of its steam, obviously, without Aaron Rodgers, but that's, Peyton criticizing Hackett. So you get the...
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, we get the game, but it doesn't...
Did you see where he's already up and walking and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that actually think he might get to play.
Yeah, before the year's over. Yeah, Jets center says Hackett was unfairly criticized by Peyton. He got thrown under the bus, and then they tried to drag him under the bus. We wanted to rally around him from the start. Such a good guy. I don't know how you want to say this, the opportunity he has, but we want to make the most of him being our play caller. Sean has plenty of his own issues right now in Denver, so. They did win a game on Sunday, though.
They did. They beat.
Get to watch the Bears tonight on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, see, the closer I get to it, the less likely there's even any chance at all. I just 1 to 10, it's not even a 1.
And it's in Washington, so we don't even see if they have something quick for Butkus or anything.
Right.
There's no. I mean, I'm sure they will mention there, obviously, but. Yeah, 9 seasons, made the Pro Bowl 8 of his 9 seasons. Died at the age of 80.
He became an actor?
Yeah, entertainment mogul in all ways. He was.
Was he in the Miller Lite commercials? The tastes great, less filling?
I don't know, was he?
For some reason, it feels like he was in it. Bob Uecker was in it. I remember this because Burt Jones was in it. Burt Jones is from Ruston, and Burt Jones was in there.
Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back, had his first media availability today with the Colts, and they said, do you want to be with the team moving forward? And his quote was, quote, "I'm here right now."
Okay.
That was Jonathan Taylor's answer, is I am here right now.
I'm here right now.
Okay.
They always say be where your feet are.
He is.
So he is, sort of. Austin, thanks for the super chat. If A-Rod was willing to play, would you let him? Today? I'm guessing he couldn't play today. He's kind of old, but back in the day, of course. Dick Butkus was on My Two Dads. That's not right. Wasn't that the Callous guy?
You're asking.
Even that's a little before my time.
For once, you got some pop culture on me here. I don't know the answer to that.
Was Butkus in Bud Light or Miller Lite? I thought he was in Miller Lite commercials.
My Two Dads ran 3 seasons and 60 episodes from 1987 to 1990, maybe.
By the way, to wrap
the cast was rounded out by former football player Dick Butkus, who managed the cafe of the building's first floor. Butkus left the series in the 3rd season.
And yes, Dick Butkus was in Miller Lite commercials in the 70s.
Okay.
75 to 79.
Also, I did not know that My Two Dads crossed over with Night Court. So they were companion shows in some way.
Seems like I do kind of remember that.
Okay.
He was in, Dick Butkus was in the ads with Bubba Smith.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For Miller Lite. Ads that you could not run today. Too many people would be so deeply offended by some of those ads. People would lose their collective minds.
Commercials were good back then.
The Euchre one still cracked me up. Hey, I'm in the good. They put him up in the top. Those were great.
Yeah, speaking of coaches, just quickly, Pat Fitzgerald is suing Northwestern for $130 million in a wrongful firing claim. So I've got that going on too right now.
I mean, my guess is he's got pretty good grounds.
Brian Dayball called Evan Neal's comments a poor decision. The Giants' offensive tackle sounding off yesterday.
Oh, things are going peaching.
Neal said today that he's remorseful.
Yeah, I bet.
Definitely could have used a better choice of words. He told fans to boo louder, and he was not concerned with the opinion of those who flip hot dogs and hamburgers, among other things.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to win them over. Good job, Evan. That'll raise the Q rating.
Yeah, the person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere?
No, Cat, those guys can't afford to get in your games.
Yeah.
Probably trading stocks on Walmart at Wall Street.
I wasn't trying to pick a fight with anyone, honestly, Neal said. It was not my intent to offend anyone or anyone's occupation, although that's how it came across.
It
did.
It did. Good point. Oh, God. All right. Appreciate everybody for calling, for being part of the stream. We got a show coming up at 7 on the network. It's an extra edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. I'm joined by Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, also Mason Choate of Rivals.com. He covers Arkansas. And then Ben Mintz joins for his weekly visit as well. We'll talk about the LSU game last week, about the Arkansas game Saturday, and go over some college games, some NFL games from a betting standpoint as well. It's about an hour and 25 minutes or so. So if you're watching the Bears and Commanders and you get bored after the first snap, flip over to it, and we'd appreciate it. We'll have a MPW Digital postgame show brought to you by Dead Soxy after Saturday's game, probably hitting the button on that 10-ish.
10 o'clock-ish.
That's my guess.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you're thrilled. And I'll have coverage for you guys in written form. Chase probably will have some too. I'll have some in written form on Saturday night at rebelgrove.com. And to be totally honest, I'll probably get up and do the rest of it on Sunday. And then next week we'll take some time off. We'll have some shows and stuff, but it'll be a much lighter week as Ole Miss is off, and then we'll head into the second half of the season. It's hard to believe that we'll be halfway done on Saturday night, but we will be. We'll head into the second half in Auburn in 2 weeks, so we'll have a lot of there's a lot of things to talk about from that. So again, Arkansas and Ole Miss Saturday 6:30 at Vaught Hemingway. Thanks to everybody for in our streams this week, for on the message board, all that stuff. So hit the like button, the subscribe button, all those things. And especially check out some of those shows from earlier in the day, the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, Pete's Pigskin Preview, and all of that. So for Chase, I'm Neal. Until Saturday, take care.